2024 anime is mid, so let's go back to 2023 and look back at some of the uncovered gems that you may have missed from a super stacked year. Because look, I know what y'all did. Y'all watched most of these and called it a day, which isn't a bad thing, but because 2024 is kind of mid right now, let's just turn it back to 2023 and watch some good anime. So to kick things off, let's go with the most popular anime on this list, one that you should instantly recognize with this banger. To describe Mashle, I would like to borrow this meme. It's as if Black Clover, Harry Potter, a quarter of One Punch Man, and a tiny bit of Mob Psycho were mixed to make this anime. And Hajime Komodo and A1 Pictures straight up cooked. Mashle is a hilarious, action-packed, cream-puff gym bro journey, led by its protagonist, Mash Burndead. Mash is our gym bro, cream-puff loving protagonist who grew up with no magic but was raised to believe he was like everyone else. Well, scratch that. That man was raised to become a well-oiled machine, fueled by cream puffs, because look at his physique. And he's only 15 years old with everyone's dream physique. So he clearly was not going to be like everyone else. But his wholesome dad hoped that he would stay undercover and blend in with everyone while having the strength to defend himself, because people without magic were executed to preserve a fully magical society. Unfortunately for Mash, he is found out because he wanted to eat some cream puffs. Now he and his dad are about to get evaporated until unfortunately for Mash, defeating one officer doesn't do much, because even if he defeats one, the officer explains that the entire magical society will still come after him. So the officer proposes something to Mash. Become a divine visionary at Easton Academy, and you and your father can live in peace without the entire magical society chasing after you. As a divine visionary is a very important person who protects the peace of this magical society using their incredible magic that they honed at Easton Academy. And even after hearing that, Mash accepts this, and that's when the story starts. And what makes Mashle stand out from the rest is the actions of Mash. The way he succeeds and operates in a magical society is hilarious. To escape a maze, he ran through it like a bulldozer. To beat a magic user, he broke his wand. And to fly, he simply ran super fast in the air to keep himself propelled. This man also does all of this while keeping a straight face. And that's not all, as when the anime pans to the reaction of these side characters, it becomes even funnier, because to them, this is just Mash using his muscle magic. So if you want a battle shonen where the MC actually doesn't have secret powers, unlike some series that start off like that, and has unique fights because Mash has no magic, so he has to come up with the most insane, funniest ways to win, and want some comedy in your life, check out Mashle. Now the next anime up is one that I've kept my eye on for a while after seeing the only video ever made about it and some cool covers. So I did what any logical person would do and added the manga to my never-ending planning list, and never read it until I saw the anime trailer and was reminded of how cool it looks, and man, the first episode did not disappoint, as the best way I can describe it is that it is if future Eren went back in time and gave Kid Eren all of his powers to prevent any of the atrocities in the future from happening. And instead of titans, there are dragons. Pretty interesting start, right? Well, don't worry, it gets even better because it borrows from your favorite aspects from isekai. The protagonist is super overpowered, as within the first couple episodes he wipes out 3 of the highest level dragons who are part of a group called the Winged Bloodline, a group who beat future Ragna multiple times. But now with this power and knowledge, the current Ragna can beat them easily. Unfortunately, he also inherited his future self's trauma, suffering, depression, pain, hopelessness, and despair. Because his future self, unlike future Eren, saved absolutely no one. He continuously became stronger and stronger, but kept on losing and losing. He was stuck in a cycle of being better than last time, but never good enough to win. And this regret seeped deep into current Ragna's mental state, because even in his current form, he had already experienced these thoughts. In every life or death situation, he lived, but everyone else died. And the sense of dread carried on with him into the very first episode. And to only have these thoughts reaffirmed by his future self is simply wild. So if you're looking for a more serious, action-packed shonen, then this is the anime for you. I will also mention it's not just Ragna who's a great character, as Ragna Crimson has set up a very nice side cast and a handful of promising antagonists who provide interesting interactions with a Ragna who knows the future. However, I will say the animation isn't anything crazy, so if that does bother you, check out the manga, as the art is pretty good and the story doesn't change that much. Okay, now this next anime is a bit different from the anime I usually talk about on this channel, as if you take one quick glance at my channel, I mainly talk about battle shonen. But this next anime is a slice of life mystery drama set in 15th century China, The Apothecary Diaries. Now what hooked me on instantly onto this anime was the animation, color palette, and the beautiful manga covers similar to Ragna Crimson. And after watching the first episode, the atmosphere was simply beautiful. The combination of animation, color, and music truly made it feel like you were in ancient China. The only thing that seemed to be unrealistic about this anime is our protagonist, Mao Mao, who is an apothecary, which is someone who sells drugs and medicine, and occasionally takes random poisons and drugs to see their effects. So yeah, Mao Mao is a bit of a quirky lady, but she's one of my favorite parts of this show, as while I did get hooked in by the beautiful atmosphere, it was Mao Mao who kept me watching, as she's a person who wants to have a low-key life, but is too compelled to help others that it disrupts her peaceful life of experimenting with drugs, and she gets dragged into another mystery. And during one of her acts of kindness while she was helping her dad collect some medicine ingredients, she gets kidnapped and sold into servitude at the Imperial Palace. Now, the regular person would be freaked out and worried about this, but Mao Mao is surprisingly content with this life and is keeping a low profile. That is until she hears a mystery and is compelled to help. And in the most low-key way possible, she helps by leaving a note on a random window that solves the mystery. And her low-key life is changed forever when she is found out to be the genius who solved the mystery. Once she is found out, she is promoted from lowly servant to a food taster for the consort she helped out by solving the mystery. And that's when the anime starts to pick up with the drama, mystery, and a tiny bit of romance between Mao Mao and the guy who found out her identity, a eunuch named Jinshi. And I say a tiny bit of romance because Mao Mao couldn't be more annoyed of the guy who constantly disturbs her peace with a new mystery to solve. So my battle shonen fans, please give The Apothecary Diaries a shot, as this is the perfect intro anime to get you into the non-action anime genre.
始めるとしましょうか。
Undead Girl Murder Farce is such a great anime. It is an anime set in the 19th century and is filled with supernatural creatures such as vampires, oni, werewolves, and an immortal head. The protagonist, Sugaru Shunichi, is an experimental half-oni known as an oni slayer. He works at a circus and kills supernatural creatures for the masses' entertainment. He became so good at his job that he attracts the attention of the only immortal being in the world, Ayarindo, the immortal head I was talking about earlier. And after some nice introductions, they come up with a deal. Aya wants to die and get her body back. Suguru wants to extend his lifespan. And Shizuku, she's there for the ride. Together, all three make for an interesting trio and are united against one British man who ruined their lives. And in their search for this man, the trio encounters some supernatural mysteries that require their expertise to solve. In these cases, it is filled with 1 million IQ moments from Ayarindo and Suguru, plus a lot, and I mean a lot, of banter between them. So props to their voice actors Tomio Kurosawa and Taku Yashihiro for putting up such a great performance, because watching these two talk is just one of the best parts of this anime. And low-key, shout out to the rest of the voice cast, because an anime with a lot of dialogue and tense scenes needs to have exceptional voice actors and sound effects. And I would say that the overall aesthetic and atmosphere feels like it was inspired by Suguru's work at the circus and his weird retellings of Japanese folklore that have a stage play narration feel to it, making it truly feel like this anime is an eccentric performer performing on the grandest stage of them all, and you have a front row seat to the action. And the only bad thing I can say about this series is it's only 13 episodes and has already adapted 3 out of 4 volumes of the novel, but what makes it even worse is that the novel's release schedule looks like this. So add this in to the support of my new theory that series that take long breaks or hiatuses tend to be peak. So watch this and fall in love with the mystery genre of anime, because honestly this would be my go-to recommendation for anyone looking to get into mystery anime, and one of the first 20 anime I would recommend to an anime beginner. Did you know Shonen Jump has released 12 anime last year? There are the obvious established ones, the hyped up anime, and 3 anime that made waves for the wrong reasons. But can you name the last one? Well, it's Undead Unluck. And I have no clue how it isn't making more waves right now. It has great animation, a catchy opening from the biggest manga publisher, and has a main character with white hair. How does this not generate more hype? Okay, I see why, but come on guys, trust me on this. Get past the first episode and you will be on a fantastic ride. It's a battle shonen that actually has a good romance, a female cast, and a power system that is so unique that it honestly blows my mind of how cool it is. In this world, there are people called negators who have the ability to negate aspects of light. Our protagonists, Andy and Fuko, are both negators. Andy has the ability Undead. He negates death. He is someone who can never die. Fuko has the ability of Unluck. She negates luck, and anyone who touches her will suffer misfortunes immediately. And that is how you get the title name Undead Unluck, as these two team up together to achieve their goals. Andy wants Fuko to cast the biggest stroke of unluck on him so he can die, and Fuko wants to have a beautiful relationship like her favorite shoujo manga. And there are other amazing abilities that I won't spoil, because one of the aspects I love about Undead Unluck is figuring out what aspects of life the person is negating, as it makes things very interesting, and with the power system being this good, you already know the fights are top tier. Also, this series has some pretty overpowered characters, so I'm surprised that my power scalers haven't hopped onto this yet, because power scalers, you will love this anime because there are a lot of hacks abilities that can allow a character to wipe out an entire anime verse by themselves. Like put Andy and Fuko in the Attack on Titan verse and it is a wrap. Okay, the last thing I want to mention about this is that there is a stretch of 3 to 4 episodes where the pacing reaches One Piece levels and the flashbacks reach Naruto levels. So if you want to avoid that, just read the manga for that stretch and come back to the anime, and once the anime is finished, transition to the manga. Because look, I'm trying to get Undead Unluck super popular, so please hop onto the manga, boost its manga plus numbers. Like, come on, it can't be all the way down here, dog. Like, this is way too low for a top tier battle shonen, so please check it out, and I promise you that you'll love it. Okay, now the last recommendation I have is something I debated leaving off this list because it could be a waste of time recommending it, as everyone I told to watch this dropped it. But hear me out. Dead Mount Death Play is good. Just like Undead Unluck, it has good animation, catchy opening, and has a main character with white hair. But the real catcher right here is that he also has red eyes. This means it should be a certified triple platinum banger right here. Instead, this anime went pretty under the radar despite having a 2-core season, and I think I know why. It had a slower start and could be a bit confusing due to the amount of plot threads and mysteries that it has. To me, I love that stuff. This is my dopamine hit, so if you love series like One Piece or Tower of God, where there are many different plot threads and characters roaming around doing different stuff, this right here is for you, as the author has created a moving world that initially sets up to be a regular world filled with crime and our protagonist Corpse God, who transferred from another world into the dead body of Polka Shinomiya, will use his powers to live a peaceful life. And you might be thinking, why would someone called the Corpse God want to be reincarnated to a different world? And that's because this man was stressed out 24/7 in the other world, where he was the big bad enemy final boss that everyone wanted to kill. So he comes here to rest, and long story short, he gets no rest because all of these guys want to mess around and ruin his peaceful life. But that's the beauty of it. All of them want to ruin it for different reasons. One wants to see his real magic. Another wants to kill Poka Shinomiya, the body he possesses to get his inheritance. And somewhere out there, some people know he's not from this world. These situations creates a lot of fights and tense moments that will keep you on your toes, and as you watch these characters digest new information, it becomes sort of like a game of Clue where each character only has a certain amount of information and has to trade info with each other to solve their questions. Except all of them are also fighting each other and they don't always have these same questions. It's just a bunch of mind games, a lot of cat and mouse, a lot of different mysteries coming in and out with each other. So if your attention span has not been ruined by TikTok and Instagram Reels yet, give this anime a chance. Also, I will say spring 2023 has been 10 times better than the winter season and is low-key cooking, so I may do a video on one of those series soon and have some more heat for y'all to watch. But for now, see you in the next video and peace.